fast into your vision.
Exactly.
But it's a car. The first time I remember driving this track on PC anyway was we did a Ferrari World Tour event.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so the Ferrari, if I remember, is quite strong round here as well.
It is. In my opinion, the Honda is also good, and the BMW, because the BMW can take more curb than the lower cars.
Yeah, so like the Ferraris, the McLarens, and things like that. That potentially struggle, but then the BMW doesn't necessarily have the upper end grunt as it once did have on this on ACC. Well, if you look at the top 5 cars at the moment, you've got 2 BMWs, you've got 2 Hondas, and then you've got Rock Hops on in the Ferrari currently occupying P1. The rest of the grid is kind of spread out. Keddy's in the McLaren in 6th, Evers is in a Honda, Kish is in a McLaren, Chris Schneider's in a Honda, and then you've got Koderman and Goswell both in Aston Martins. So there is a decent spread of manufacturers across the top 10.
It's lovely to watch, to see the McLaren in the top 10 again.
Yeah.
I was like, what happened to the McLaren? But
it got nerfed.
Yeah, it got nerfed. Yeah, I still love it to drive it.
But yeah, so obviously you've got the ballast thing that comes into effect after the sprint race. And in the feature race, you've got double points from the sprint race. So it's one of those debates. Then, if you are one of those drivers who can finish in P1, do you go for P1, or do you try and hold back for maybe a 4th, 5th, or even a 6th place to make sure you don't have any of the ballast for the feature race?
I will try to go for P1 because, in my opinion, if you got more kilograms on your car, that's also a nice challenge for you to fight with the car. So I will definitely go for the P1. Yeah. Sometimes it's a good tactic to stay on P5 or P6, and after that you can take in the second race the P1, of course. So that's a big gamble.
Yes, it is. I'm fortunately never in the position to ever worry about challenging for P1, P2, etc. I'll be just hoping for a top 30. I'll just be hoping for a top 30 and...
Alright. 15 minutes quali.
Exit looks clear. We've got 14 minutes to get the job done. Your brakes are cold. We need to get some heat into them.
Car left. Hold your line. Clear left.
Blue flag. Yellow flag. You're clear of the incident, green flag. Sector 2 is 0.8, off the base. Green flag in Sector 2. Remaining 10 minutes. Sector 2 is 0.7 off the pace. Your brake temps are good. The car ahead has just done at 136.42. Your best lap in this session. Sector 1 is 0.5 off the pace. Yellow flag. Green flag, you're clear. Sector 2 is 0.47 off the pace. Minutes of fuel remaining. Sector 2 is now green, V11, that's your fastest lap. Sector 3 is 0.5 off the pace. Sector 1 is 0.38 off the pace. The guy behind has just done a 134.57.
Ouais, on va aller là.
Sector 2 is 0.47 off the pace. You've used half your fuel. B14. The guy in front has just done a 134.12. Five minutes remaining, 5 minutes left. Sector 2 is 1.2 seconds off the pace. Incident in Sector 1, yellow flag. We need to watch the track limits. Green flag in Sector 1. B16. Yellow flag in Sector 2. Green flag, Sector 2. We estimate you've got 5 minutes of fuel remaining. Sector 2 is 0.7 off the pace. That lap time was 135.04. minutes left. 2 minutes. Very little fuel left. This lap won't count, you've cut the track. Yellow flag in sector 1. It looks like Runge has gone off. Green flag in sector 1. Yellow flag, stay sharp. Incident clear, green flag. You're 2/10 off the pace in sector 1. Yellow flag. Incident clear, back to green flag. Incident in sector 1, yellow flag. Sector 1 is clear. Green flag, sector 2.
So how will Alex approach the last two corners? That looked very wide, and that's indeed an invalidated lap. So Senadore's currently got P2. Melka Garbi is the only real driver who can challenge for that. He's a tenth of a second up at the moment, so that will put him on a 33.450, which would indeed take second place away from Senadore and also from Alex Akdel. Going into the final corner now, Melka Garbi, the man from Sweden, has invalidated. Oh no! So Demokos Kish dives into the pits. Anyone else? We got Milan Danovic is in the pits too. So any other? I think that might be everyone. Yes, it is. So we've already jumped straight to the race. So let's have a little bit of a recap. So in P1 we have Rock Cops, then we got Senadore in P2, Alex Zakdal 3, Garbi 4, Keddy 5th, Ferrari 6th, Kish in 7th, Kodeman in 8th, Edo Cops 9th, Patrick Den, Chris Schneider, Sajetti, Goswell, Milandanovic, Tom Evers, Philip Van Zyl in 16th, Ryan Stringer in 17th, Hold 18th, Woodward 19th, Galamini in 20th, Prentice 21st, then we've got Brown, Robstra, Gedman, Chris Sauter, Simon Turner, Fabian Rung, Derek Bruh, Liam Weistock Bostock in P29, and bringing him up the rear is Paolo Scalamani. And that concludes your grid for the feature race. So it's 20 minutes, not 25 minutes for this event. What did you make of that qualifying, Tug?
It's a lovely qualifying. Good left lap from Senatore. Really good lap. So,
yeah.
I'm curious with the first lap.
What's going to happen here for the first lap?
I will probably say safety car, but we don't have it.
Yeah, just need to get your Porsche back out in a massive yellow livery.
Exactly.
It's nice seeing all these cars on the grid, doing their final tweaks, trying to work out what fuel level they're gonna have to use. Some lovely liveries on show as well. So
I was watching it. Yeah.
so trying to.
And every time my eyes going to Katie's car.
Yes, it is very, very bright. Although I do
Yeah.
like, is that Kish's car? I think.
With the Porsche.
No. It's a McLaren as well.
McLaren. Yeah, it's a McLaren. Yeah, that's also a nice one. Yeah. Cops has also a nice skin.
Yeah, he does.
Ferrari.
So yeah, here's well, they got the two cops. For some reason, it just keeps flicking me to Helicam, which is not what I want. So there's Sugeti. So who's behind him? Is that Milan Danovic? I think is got kind of a very nice red patterned livery car. I did notice this one earlier. Can you see Ryan Stringer's BMW with the anime?
Let's see. Ryan Stringer.
P17.
P17.
It should be up on stream as well.
Let's see. I'm gonna watch on stream. Oh yeah. Oh, that's lovely.
That's kind
I
of
love
nice.
the enemy. Yeah, it's kind of nice. Yeah.
Robbie Robstra's one's kind of nice too. In P23, as the drivers are moving away slowly from the grid. Let's have a look.
Yeah, the Ferrari of Robbie is also nice.
So Derek's just gone for a nice plain gold livery. Fabian Rung in the Porsche 991. Simon Turner, the Terminator, in P26. Then we've got Chris Sauter, who was frantically searching for a livery earlier in P25. Chris Gedman in game 79. Robbie Robstrom in P23. Alan Brown has gone to the pits, so he's starting from there. Scalamani in a Bentley. That's not a car that you see very often in ACC. On PC anyway. On PS4 you see them all the time.
Last time that I saw the Bentley, that was on PS4 and PS5.
Ian Prentice has gone for the BMW. Calamani in 777 in the Audi. So we're starting with the cameras for this race. Front, middle or back?
I will go for middle and with the helicopter view.
Yeah, okay. We'll have a look at that then. So, playing around with stuff.
We need to follow car number 58 in the left lane. Go, go, go!
Car right, clear right. Right side. Still there. Hold your line. Hold your line. Still there. Clear right.
Yellow flag.
Right side.
The incident's clear. Green flag.
Hold your line. You're in the middle. Clear left. Clear all round. On your right.
Yellow flag. You've had a bit of bodywork damage. Stay out. It's not too bad.
On your right. Clear right.
Codderman behind is pitting now. Incident clear. Green flag. Good start, mate. Nice one.
In qualifying, popping it into P1 has dropped all the way down to well, all the way down has dropped dropped 2 places down to P3. So that is a big loss for him. But the McLaren is trying to hang on to the back of them. Zachtel now on the back of Rock Cops. Is he going to manage to make a move for the first sector? Not the easiest place to manage to do it.
Top 5 is really away.
Yes, the top 5 has gone. Andreas Holt has dived into the pits, so I can only assume he's had damage right from the start. But yeah, the top 5 has disappeared. Ferrari in P6 is 1.5 seconds behind these guys already. Rock Cop seems think he might have got his tyres back up to temperature, but Senadori is starting to disappear. Will Rock Cops have, now he's got those tyres into a good place, as all over the back of the Honda. Harry Goswell in P15, let's have a quick check on him. There seems to be a gaggle of cars going through the hairpin. Harry is trying to chase down Chris Sauto, who's gained up 11 positions from the start. So that's another big rise for him.
There was a huge crush in the first lap.
Yeah, one of the reasons why I decided not to stay in the middle of the track for the start of the race.
Exactly.
So the fight is on. So Senadori's 1.7 seconds ahead of Gardby. Gardby's 2, Cops 3, Zachtel 3, Keddy 5, Ferrari 6th, Cops 7th, Milandanovic 8th, Patrick Den once again in P9, Scalamani in P10. Senadori sets the fastest lap of the race with a 33.670. So that's a good lap from him. So now these drivers, these top 5 drivers obviously seem like they are far and away above the rest of the field. So it's interesting to see now, what order do they want to finish in? Do they want to finish in where they are now? So is Senadori going to keep pushing on, or is he going to think, actually no, if I start P4 I have less ballast, and I can move forward, move through forward. Yeah, Zachtel again. Is he thinking a very similar thing? Do I need to challenge Rock Cops for P3, or can I stay where I am? So it's a little bit of an added extra for tonight's race. So let's have a look at. So it looks like a Sagetti Corsa.
Right now.
Yeah. So Sagetti makes the move on Harry Goswell into the hairpin. The Audi is trying to power away from the Aston Martin. So Sagetti moves up into P15. Goswell drops down to P16. Sagetti is now going to start challenging Ryan Stringer for P14 potentially. Yeah, it is hectic. Well, it's a sprint race. It's just nuts.
I'm watching Katie and Zachtel. Katie is really pushing Zachtel.
Well, so we're on board currently with Sagetti, who's just run a little bit wide off track, side by side with Ryan Stringer. Stringer has damage, has some flappy bonnet syndrome, but Sagetti definitely looks like he's got more pace than his qualifying performance showed. Although Sagetti has lost 3 places, so he qualified a lot higher. Gardby still the fastest man on track. Sagetti has had an off, and he's come back onto the racing line and managed to avoid any car, but Harry has gained back into P15th position. So he had full-blown Tokyo drift.
That's a good recovery.
It was. Chris Gedman's had a move pulled on him by a Ferrari of Simon Turner. We have Neil Woodward directly behind him. Harry Goswell again is now right behind Ryan Stringer, who has that flappy bonnet syndrome, takes the inside line for the first for the 2 corners into the dodgy right-hander. Ryan takes all the curbs. Sajetti is going to attempt to make the move again into the hairpin. Ryan Stringer moves into the middle of the track, preventing Harry from gaining any positions. Sajetti looks as though he has that move made on Harry Goswell, and he has, and now he's going to try and make it a double entendre by moving past Ryan Stringer, going down towards the left-hander. Ryan will have the inside line. We probably don't need to be on Harry's car.
It's a good fight to see.
It is. So car number 11 is Sajetti down the long straight, has the inside line for the right-hander. Flappy bonnet syndrome in the BMW. Over the curbs, this time it looks as though, yes, it does. So Sajetti does indeed make that move. He's now up to P14. Chris Nauta will be next on his radar. Fastest lap of the race has been set by Rob Copps, who's definitely up to speed.
Sajetti needs to keep that number 11 high.
Yeah, I don't know whose number that is.
I think it's mine.
Yeah, it is. Nobody ever wants 41. It's quite good. So Harry Goswell now is on the back of Ryan Stringer. So but Harry's overcommitted into turn 1. It does look as though that Aston Martin does have a fair bit of front end damage. Might have been caused by the early lap incidents. We've got a couple of cars which are in the pits. So we have Philip Van Ziel, Chris Schneider, Rung, Koderman and Kish are all in the pits. Harry Goswell takes a tight line, hoping to get down the long straight, but the curbs of death have caught
So
Harry Goswell.
He's really fighting with the Nissan GTR right now.
Who is?
Oh, Sauter, Sajetti now.
Yes, he is. He looks like he's got the move made as well.
He's a really good exit.
So he's definitely got that car dialed in. He's up into the position. He's only 1 position down where he qualifies, so he might have got involved in that turn 1 fun. Tom Evers in P12, who qualified P15, is 6.7 seconds up the road, so he has a lot of work to do to be able to get near him. Christopher Gedman in P19, on the back of the Turninator in the Ferrari.
Yeah, he's in a lovely world right now.
In his own little world.
Yeah. You can see Katie's planet these days. Did you hear it?
No?
On the news. You can see all these planets, like Mars, Pluto.
On Woody's Woody's livery. Huh?
No, in real life.
Right. Well, yeah. Sorry, we don't do real life. No, what do you mean? You can see them in the sky at the minute.
Yeah. There wasn't a news topic of today. They were talking about it. You can see Pluto, Mars, Uranus, and Curious. I don't know.
I haven't watched any of the news today. I've been watching bloody CBeebies. I've had the day of house arrest, just because we all needed a day off. So Harry Goswell does look so he's got P15 back from Ryan Stringer. There is a challenger behind in Bostock in P17. He's gained up 12 positions since the start, so he's flying through the grid as well. But Stringer, Goswell, Stringer and Bostock are fighting over 15, 16 and 17. I'm pretty sure that Goswell will prefer to be challenging Sauter in P14, which will be coming in the not too distant future. Let's see what happens when admins attack.
Your brake temperatures are okay. You've got 10 minutes left, 10 minutes to go. That's half distance. Fuel levels are fine. Yellow flag sector 3. Green flag in sector 3. Just cut the track. To go, 5 minutes left.
Made a move on Patrick Den as well in the background. That was nice to see. So Marco Keddy. We've got Gardby who's just at 0.3 of a second behind Senatore as they come across the start-finish straight. 4 minutes left of the race. of our sprint race. Then we go into a short break before our feature race. You can see Rock Cops just in the background in the rear view mirror. Hustling and bustling in the Honda. Sorry?
Katie's showing itself in the mirrors of cops in the BMW.
Yeah, we've also got yellow flags for Robster and Gedman in P19 and 20.
BMW is really fast.
Well, yeah,
What-
that... Oh!
What happened?
So, under braking, Garby almost was smashed into the rear of Senatori and had to take a bit of avoiding action to make sure he didn't make contact. So what's happening with Milan Danovic in P9 and P8? So that gap looks like it's extended a bit more. Keddy is on the rear of Edo Cops. And then we'll go back to P2. Rock Cops runs a little bit wider in the background. No move has been made. Fastest lap of the race so far is Melka Garby's 33.405, which again is an FLL lap record in its own right. Sanadore goes over the grass,
No!
but he is still in P1. Somehow he managed to keep the pace and keep the control. Rock Cops fighting away, hoping one of these drivers makes a mistake. There's been a few close calls, but these three have not been far apart for the entire race. Sanadore did disappear off at the start, but then has been clawed back in by Garby and Cops. Zachdell's been dropped a little bit by 4.5 seconds. Ferrari in P5 has must be very pleased with where he is. Edo Cops in P6. 3.2 seconds behind. Then Marco Keddy 0.2 of a second behind. Senadore's run really wide, but he's got the power down.
One more lap to go.
to watch.
It was frantic. Chris Sauter claims a very credible 13th, with Neil Woodward directly behind in 14th. Simon Turner, the Turninator, in 15th. Robbie Robstraw in 16th. Chris Gedman in 17th. Sajetti in crosses the line in P18. And then we got Andreas Hold, who does manage to finish the race in 19. Derek Bruh in P20th. Ryan Stringer crosses the line in P21. Alan Brown spins through the last corner in 22nd. Harry Goswell seemed to have a few issues, but he's claiming P23. He's just come out of the pit. What's that? What has that noise, James? What do you mean, Chris? Am I making funny noises? But Harry Goswell claims the final position of P23rd. Chris Schneider. Battles. So we had Gedman playing with people in the back of the grid. Then we had Stringer, Bostock, Goswell, Sajetti in the midfield, and at the front of the grid we had Keddy fighting for P6 with Cops. Then we had Cops, Garby, and our winner Senadori fighting it for P1. So yeah, that definitely kept us entertained. And Jesus. So Stringer was doing donuts on the last corner as Goswell was crossing the line. So that is all the drivers have now finished. Oh. So who's your favourite then for the feature?
For the future, I will go for a Senatori with the
Yeah?
BMW. Really good driving, really good space with the BMW. So, and my second, it's a political answer, so I go for Keddy then.
Well, do you know what? I fancy Alex to win this one from P4. I think having that 30 kilograms left of last ballast will definitely give him a chance to win the feature race. But you also can't look too far away from the top three. But my favourite, I think, is going to be Alex. Kept himself out of trouble in race 1, and then see what happens in race 2. So we're going to take a short break while the guys sort out the server. We will be back in a second. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are. Sorry, I had my stream up in the background to see how many people were going. But yes, we are back ready for the feature race here at the New Year Champagne or Champagne event. Don't forget, we've also got a PS5 race going on and a PS4 race, so it's a fun-filled schedule. And straight from this, we have the draw for the patrons, so be sure to tune in for that, because I think that's going to be, hopefully, a nice little event. So Patrick Den didn't get in much on the stream in the first race, managed an incredible P8 position, so we've got 21 drivers who have rejoined so far. We have a short practice session of a couple of minutes. Once all the drivers have popped in, then we'll get going straight away for the feature race, which is going to be hopefully as eventful as the sprint, because that was epic. And you will notice I am now by myself. Tugbert decided that he needed to put another load of washing on, and he will be enjoying himself for the rest of the evening, hopefully not injuring his shoulder. Wish you a speedy recovery, Mr. Tugbert. So this race says have a mandatory pit stop. Refueling is allowed. Mandatory refueling is required. There will be a fixed refueling time of 25 seconds. No mandatory tyre change or a pit window. And the drivers still get 6 sets of tyres, so they can burn through pretty much as many as they like during this short practice session before they get going again. Yes, we did need some. We did need some music. That was me. I went off to grab myself a cup of tea. It was a nice tea as well. Black, no sugar. It was quite good. Hopefully we can get going as soon as possible. So we got 26 drivers who so far rejoined the grid. You might notice there might be some gaps on the grid if people haven't rejoined the server. But yeah, let's hope. And we could do some singing, but we don't want to bleed anyone's eardrums before New Year's. Chris, what is your plans for New Year's Eve? Tomorrow I'm going to my mother-in-law's, I think. I think that got decided in the week. I was hoping for a nice stay-at-home New Year's. Clock strikes 12, go to bed. Bit of Jules Holland hootenanny, but instead we're going to a bloody party. So Chris Schneider, unfortunately, finished in the pits from the last race. But we'll be hoping he has a better time around this race. He might have got involved in some of that lap 1 kerfuffle. So just seeing if I can have a little, see if he has loaded the results into SimGrid, and we can see if there is an update on the championship, because I think Alex has potentially moved a little bit further away. In terms of the in terms of our little one-off championship, so there won't be any qualifying from this, will there? So just going to do a little bit of admin work in the background and see if I can provide an update on what's going on. So drivers have now gone over to the start-finish grid, so I'm probably not going to have chance to be able to do that. So just a reminder of our grid. So we've got Senador in 1, Garby 2, Cops 3, Zakdal 4, Ferrari 5, Cops in P6, then Keddy in 7, Patrick Den once again in P8, Milan Danovic 9, Scalamani in P10, Prentice, Evers, Sauter, Woodward, Turner, Robstra, Gedman, Sagetti, Hold, Bruh, Stringer, Brain, in 22nd. Then we go to Bostock, who was climbing through the field in P23. Flip Van Zyl in 24, Schneider 25, Kish in 26, Kodeman 7, and Fabian Orang in P28. So we've got a couple of minutes before the race starts. So I'm gonna see if I can play with something in the background to the drivers still have not yet moved, so that's a good thing. So, as mentioned, we did see a new FRL lap record in the last race, so they're all doing that, which will be updated on the website after this. So, one-off event stand-in. So, Alex Zachtel has now got a 41-point lead over Marco Keddy. So, Keddy has done one less race, so Alex Zachtel's on 337, Marco Keddy on 296. Woodward in P3 incidentally on 222, but won't be able to win the championship. So there will be 60 points on offer for this race as well. So a little bit of dodgy filling as we're on board now, watching Senadore pull away from the start-finish line. Then we've got Tom Evers in P12. Had a good little race from P15 climb into P12, so feel quite happy with that. Did have that little bit of an incident, but recovered well. Malka Garbi, very, very familiar with the back of the BMW after the last race, and also familiar with Rock Copse. Rock Copse didn't have the best of getaways from the line and lost P1 as a result, and then Garby took P2 from him as well, but challenged throughout the entire of the feature race. So, final race of 2022 here in FRL. Ready to celebrate New Year's in style with a bit of champagne. I've had my cup of tea. I've had a cream soda from Tesco as well. It's quite nice, smooth and sweet. Inspired by traditional recipe for a mellow vanilla flavour. Let's put my phone on charge. Alex Zachtel, potentially one race away from claiming his second FRL title. Final moments of preparation. We've just a reminder, we've lost Doug. He's gone to do some washing. Hopefully no further injuries taken.
Follow car number 738.
Even the quality of the stream that's coming through on the Discord is clear. It's amazing.
I-9 is the way to go.
Yeah.
Okay, hope for a better one.
Clear right. Right side. Still there. Hold your line.
Right, eh?
Clear right, on your right. 3 wide, you're in the middle. Clear right. Clear all
Oh,
round.
what a muppet.
On your left, clear left.
On this car you need a rear wing, eh?
Yeah.
Good start, keep it up.
Car right. Still there.
Still on the outside.
Hold your line.
Watching how we go on the track.
Still there.
You?
Hold your line, clear right. On your right.
Inside. Watch out.
Hold your line, clear right. Car right. Hold your line. Still there. Clear right.
Thought this Porsche turns in nicely.
You're flacker.
22nd place.
Right side. Clear right.
Sure.
Tiny bit of aero damage there. You probably won't even feel it.
Go on, unbalanced front and rear damage. Oh, shoot.
Don't get no 2 places down, we're going to have a late valve.
Yellow flag. Green flag, all clear.
Yeah. Do
Watch
you
the
see
creep
the
in front,
traffic?
they're slowing down, eh? Watch the brakes.
P20.
Watch the brake. Oh, he's coming a lot.
Right side. Clear right. Left side. Clear left. Right side. You're in the middle. Clear left. Clear all round. Car right.
Idiots.
Yo.
No, man.
Still there.
That's not a
Yellow
U-turn.
flag. Gone out of track limits. Keep it.
Still there. Clear right. On your right. Clear right.
The next car is Kish.
Car left. Clear left.
You.
Can't believe that.
Okay, I'll tell you what you'll do. You'll pit. This is a mandatory pit, I don't know.
This little squabble here is all it's doing is costing time and putting yourself in danger.
Sector 1 is green.
On your right. Clear right.
No pit window, eh?
Car right. Clear right.
Watch.
Right side. Clear right.
You're changing tyres.
No.
They've selected to change, eh?
Okay, it's fine.
I suppose there's a... I think they said there was a
25 seconds.
25-second lock time anyway. Okay, gooi. Oh, here comes the pack.
There's a car approaching. Stay behind the line. Blue flag.
Why not? In a gap.
Blue flag. Blue flag.
You've got 2 seconds to mouth, so you've got some
Space.
gap now to chase. Yo.
I lifted, man.
Another one.
There's a car rejoining in front. B27. Blue flag.
Ah!
We've had a drive-through penalty for cutting the track. You've got 3 laps to serve this penalty. You're reeling this guy in. The gap's now 7.8.
On your left. Clear left.
We've got 2 laps to come in for
Car
this penalty.
sliding four-wheel drift into the corners.
Push.
Yeah.
That was a tracker. No.
Look out for the pit speed limit.
The lime green liveried McLaren. It's right on the rear. No movements yet. Let's have a look at what's happening P12 and P13. Cars everywhere, essentially. Robbie Robstra has the inside line going across the curbs. The Boatley is there. A little bit of a twitchy moment from the Porsche. The Boatley moves out to the outside. He's going to try and take the inside into the hairpin. We have a BMW and a Lamborghini directly behind. Porsche manages to keep that line into the braking zone. No contact there, hopefully. As the BMW in the background has a little bit of a twitchy moment. Hold against Scalamani. Porsche versus Boatley. Porsche will have the advantage in the corners, but the power of the Boatley is going to come into play. We have the Ferrari of Robbie Robstra in front. He must be feeling a little bit easier. A little bit of contact between Prentice and Woodward. Nothing major. Once again, you see the Boatley gaining in on the car. Marco Kelly less than a tenth of a second behind Alex Zagdell. Is that going to be a move into the second to last corner? He's got it planted. He's got the power down. But Zagdell takes a lot more of the curb. The BMW behind of Copse is closing in once more. That move didn't get to stick, but definitely in trouble. Scalamani dives into the pits. Edo Copse is now going to be causing Marco some problems. So Kelly really needs to make this move. No. Contact, contact, contact! Double contact. Alex Zagdell's been spanned by Marco, and Marco does the gentlemanly thing by waiting. Appreciates there's a championship on the line between these two drivers, and Marco absolutely fantastically moves out of the way, but the Honda will have damage. Patrick Den's also in this battle now. Ferrari's managed to move through past both Keddy and Zagdell. Edo Copse is also now into P3, so we've got a double Copse on podium. Melka Garby's 4.5. But yeah, difficult one to judge. But I think Keddy's done the right thing by going, do you know what, contact there, possibly unnecessary, let's give him the position back. But Marco does dive into the pits now. Braking in time for the line. So that gives Alex some space now. No real visible damage to the Honda, but it's not going to help him having that contact. Ferrari in front as well, potentially is going to... so Mitja Milandanovic ports the pits. So here is our race leader currently, Melka Garby. 30 minutes left of this race. We've only had 10 minutes, and there's been so much action. So Kodeman's dived into the pits. Let's have a look in terms of the stop length. So Kish has done his stop as a 73.3. 73.3 but Melko Garbi is leading the way over Rock Cops in P3 or P2. Edo Cops in P3, and then we have Ferrari in 4. Ignore what positions they're saying. It's because one driver's decided to jump into the pits. Keep an eye on the stop length rather than stops. Doesn't seem to be recognising that there was a stop. So now everything seems to have managed to sort itself out. Derek Brewer in P17 is having a fight with Fabian. So it's Derek's first real outing in Godzilla. Last lap for him was a 39.4. Fabian was a 39.1, so a little bit quicker, but the fastest lap for Fabian is a 36.9, whereas Derek's done a 37.7. Andanovic has got a yellow flag. He's gone into the pits. So where has Marco come out in terms of the grid? So Marco has come out into P20th. He's 13 seconds behind Turner. So that's been a 75.8 second pit stop, potentially with the damage as well. Somehow Sanadori managed the 39.5 second stop, so absolutely no idea how he's managed that. How is Alex getting on 1 second behind Ferrari? Doesn't want to be caught up too much by Ferrari. Last time out was a 34.4, 34.3 was Ferrari's last lap. And then you've got Edo Kops directly in front. So what Marco will be hoping for is if he can pump out quite a few very quick laps, which he has the capability of doing.
Car right, clear right.
Blue flag.
There you go, Phil. Gained another place. Whoa! How did he win the day?
Gap in front has increased. It's now about 14 seconds.
cards early, so just watch him at the end of the straight. Might run deep now.
We've been warned about track limits.
Yeah, that rear is definitely not stable on that map.
Well, he was fighting for position, but he's not anymore, so I'm going to take him.
Blue flag.
That's all that problem.
Blue flag.
Place is catching, eh?
On your right. Clear right.
You're gaining on this car. The gap is 10 seconds. We're halfway home. We're okay on fuel.
This goes bad through there.
It's gonna get worse. I do know that.
Heads up, there's a car rejoining. B27.
The top position that's behind you, you stick on the tries to get back up to 10.
You're gaining on this guy. The gap's now 8.8. Heads up, there's a car exiting the pits. Good lap, that's your best in the session. 20 minutes remaining, you've got 20 minutes left. Come on, let's put this hard work to good use.
is coming through the rapid pace. You might be able to use him to get past this.
Blue flag.
Left side. Clear left. Car left. Clear left. Left side. Clear left.
Nitrous.
Yeah. That's crazy.
leader is
I put you
pitching
there.
now.
I can't caught you.
Ahmed Stray.
Yeah.
The gap ahead is now 1.4.
There you go, Flip. There's a position. Just ahead.
On your left. Clear left.
Good work, mate. Keep it up.
The 911 or whatever that previous one was. It's a stop and go for him, so more potential places coming.
B26. We just had a warning for cutting your track. You've got half your fuel left.
Doesn't rotate, sure.
Yellow flag, stay sharp. You're pulling away from the guy behind. The gap's now 3.4 seconds.
And then you
Green
need to
flag,
get
you're
off.
clear.
Otherwise a tracker.
Battered and bruised. After being challenged from Ferrari on the last lap. Having to take the curbs. Garby's, has he gone into the pits? Yes. What's happened, Melka? Did he get severe damage, perhaps? Did he not put any fuel in his car? The stop length seemed about right. Okay. So, Edo Cops now. Interesting to see if Melka does come out, back out. Bit of a freeway battle here. Cops, Den and Ferrari up in front. Keddy's moved up to P3. Zachdel's yet to pit. So Keddy is potentially P2 overall. Last lap from Alex Zachtel of 34.2. Keddy was a 34.3. Attempted move by Edo Cops, not made. Patrick Den, a very, very solid and talented racer. So is Edo Cops. And Ferrari's a new name to me, if I'm perfectly honest. So not familiar here within FRL with Paolo Ferrari, but hopefully we'll become more familiar with him in the not too distant future. Edo Cops getting into the slipstream of the McLaren. McLaren punching a hole in the air for the BMW. The BMW is a big beast. Taking a little bit wider line. Garby and Robstra have made contact. Tempted to go for the strip back. So Garby has come out of the pits. Senadori is only in P10. Edo Cops meanwhile continues to fight Patrick Den. Ferrari's disappearing. Now 2 seconds ahead of these two fighting it out. So Chris Schneider's was on a yellow flag. I'm not sure if the Hondas tried to kill him or not. But what happened with Garby? Garby still continuing. He's game for the fight. He's gone past Robbie Robstra. We have a car that's gone into the pits, which is Daniel Chris Schneider, who I think has seen the end of his race. So, big news. Zagdell, pit. Unless Garby got a stop and go potentially for speeding the pit lanes. It did look as he came out of the pits that his mind has been scrambled a little bit potentially, especially with all that contact. Was that what he was trying to avoid? But Zagdell in the pits from P1. That will conclude all our pit stops for the race. Derek was off too. Wonder if they touch potentially, but Edo Cops continues to fly around. Marco Keddy has 7.7 seconds to gain on Edo Cops, lapping just under a tenth slower at the moment than Rock Cops. Sorry. Zagdell still being serviced, now being dropped down. Where will he come out in terms of the grid? Long pit lane, but you miss corners 1 and 2 and join into 3, so that's always a good thing. So where is Marco? Marco's coming down the start-finish line. Cops takes the lead. So where is Mr. Keddy? Keddy looks as though he is in front at the moment, but will come out comfortably in P2. No, there is Alex behind. So just over a second difference. So after the collision, after the repairs, after the stops, Marco Keddy is now 8 seconds behind Rock Cops. Keddy in second. Alex Zagdell, our current championship leader, in P3. Ferrari in 4. Den and Cops made contact. That's a very wide line from Rock Cops as he goes side by side with Patrick Den as they're fighting through some back markers, but managed to claim P5. Next on his list will be trying to claim back on, but these back markers are causing problems because they're not making it easy for the drivers, shall we say. So there was 2 opportunities for Sauter to move out of the way, and he's declined at both of them, which has allowed Edo to come under pressure again from Patrick Den as they're going side by side down the long straight. Den will have the inside line this time. It looks as though the BMW does have the grunt. There was a couple of opportunities for Sauter to move out of the way, and probably should have done. But a little bit of damage potentially for Edo having contact with the Nissan. Oh, squirrely moments going across the curbs. So we have 27 drivers still out on track, fighting it out for the remainder of the race. Christopher Gedman, after his stop, is back up into P19. Senadore in P9. Patrick Den continues to go do those laps. So Marco Keddy out.
front is now 1.4 seconds. That's your quickest lap in this session.
Inside, outside, outside.
Right side, clear right.
Good move, mate. B23, stay on it. This isn't over yet.
Just like that, we lost 3 seconds to Evers.
The gap in front is increasing. It's now 6.1. You're pulling away. The gap behind is now 2.4. Consistency. Keep them coming.
Now save that, sure.
Das ist quasi Rückkarte.
Ja. And how I do that.
Ja.
5 minutes remaining, 5 minutes left.
Oh, you drifted in and then you make up the time. Out of all the tracks, Misano is the worst for push.
Good lap. That's your quickest so far. Gap ahead is now 5.7. Increased to 12 seconds. The lap time was at 1:36.00.
And another place.
Just 2 minutes left, 2 minutes to go.
It's not rotating on the power there.
Yeah.
Second place. Got 10 minutes of fuel remaining. Lap to go. That lap was at 1:36.68. The car behind is pitting.
And I've got you as provisional 7th place because he wasn't able to catch you.
That's the guy that won the first race.
Oh no way, it's 20th place you got to drive through. So you're going to get another place.
P22, that's the end of the race. Bad luck, mate.
That was tough. Holy cow.
No, it looks as though that's settled. Senadori claims 7. Sergetti, good race his second time around in P8. Demokosh Kish gets 9th. Melka Garbi will look to get P10. Very enjoyable. Thank you very much for keeping me company, Chris. Everyone else had the cat got their tongue, but Malcolm Garby claims P10. And there's a car going backwards. Ian Prentice, a very solid race for he, involved in a couple of battles and throughout the race in P11. Andreas Hold in 12th, ahead of Robbie Robstra in 13. Then you got Alan Brown in 14. Ryan Stringer. Coderman claims in 16th. Then we got Neil Woodward in 17th. Then Simon Turner, Fabian Rung, Paolo Scalamani in 20th. Tom Evers in 21st. As we've got the two Cops cousins sat side by side, as Ian Prentice almost absolutely destroys that perfect image. Fantastic races from those. So we've got Chris Sauter in 23rd, Gedman 24th, Bostock 25, Derek Brower in 26, and Chris Schneider in 27. But full congratulations to Rock Cops. We've got an Aston Martin. They're going for that photo